So, we have five doors of perception that open into the outer world that we experience. They are sensory, so our life is focused on all the sensory pursuits of life, to live life comfortably, to find stability, to not to have instability, because that is function of somewhere on the line the future, which causes anxiety, or past behaviors which are embedded in a memory creating anger. So today we're going to inquire about this process wherein there is a small window within us. When we stop using the five doors of outward perception and start moving towards the little window that opens into our psyche and our inner world of intangible, the infinite, and the unknown. So it's said that the nature of the universe, the meaning of life, can be understood by awareness, reflection, and logic without threat to any religion or belief system. So it doesn't matter what your belief system is, and your logic, your perception. Because if you're a philosopher, your ideas are based on philosophy, which is based on the intellectual side of things. Religion is more emotional, and mysticism is experiential. So the Bhagavad Gita says, "He who truly sees that all his so called deeds are carried out by nature alone, and the self is just the witness, truly sees." Zen says, "Don't want anything, don't create anything, give up everything, even the desire to survive, be like weeds in the wind, live and die unnoticed." So, when we have this sort of perception of life, our relationship to life changes. We free ourselves from expectations, from judgments, free others from our rigid expectations. There's no more guilt, anger, shame. It's a learned process. And so today we're going to look at how we're going to sort of get an idea of this perception. So we become carefree, in other words, and life performs its actions and we just flow along with life. We roam in the unfathomable. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We think we do, but it's okay. Whatever happens, happens. Identify with the infinite because we know we are parts of the infinite just flowing along. Embrace the stillness. The outside might be chaotic, but somewhere in the line, when you start opening the window of your inner perception, the stability occurs within. So the outside world may be chaotic, things might not happen as planned, anything could be going on, but your inner world is at a constant sense of say serenity and peace, relatively speaking. Can vary a little bit, but that's everything you see on the outside that doesn't work, or everything that happens that doesn't work in your expected flavor of things. We come to terms in terms of like acceptance. We have acceptance rather than expectation, so we are okay with it. Whatever is occurring, we are comfortable in the process of like it is happening for the best, because something beyond me, an intelligence greater than me, knows what's the best, and that exactly is what is happening. So when we free ourselves from expectations and others from our rigid expectations, we become kind and compassionate because we understand that they are also not doing things that as we how can I put it, as we expect them to do, because that is their sort of flow. They are doing what they need to do at this second, at this point in time, to facilitate the efficiency of existence. It's got nothing to do with me, you and me. We are just parcels of information and infinite energy that are functioning from the whole for the efficiency of the universe. So our ego is dissolved. We don't have any issues. We don't need to impress anybody. We live carefree and a state of authenticity and vulnerability, because we're not worried about seeking approval or having the fear of disapproval. We have a sense of gratitude in whatever is occurring, and we realize it's part of the unfathomable adventure that we are participating in because we are the adventure. So let's go to where it all started from on some level. So 13.8 billion years ago, there was absolutely nothing. No matter, no space, no nothing, no time, didn't exist. We never know why, or we might never know why it happened, but a seething mass of energy grew from nothing to a size smaller than an atom. So it's a little spark, a violent fireball of unimaginable heat. It expanded to encompass everything in our universe. Within a minute, uh, the fraction of second, it expanded from nothing to the size of an atom to 100 trillion 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 times in size of a football. So it just became bigger and bigger. So Einstein's famous quotation, NAE equals mc squared, shows that energy and mass are interchangeable. Imagine a nuclear bomb. When it explodes, a tiny amount of energy is completely annihilated and converted to energy, giving us a weapon of mass destruction. In the Big Bang, the opposite of the nuclear explosion occurred. Energy converted to matter, giving us a phenomena of mass creation. Pure energy got converted to matter. In a fraction of a second, the universe was filled with intense energy, spontaneously converted into matter and antimatter. Matter and antimatter particles have this inclination to instantly annihilate each other, resulting in heat and radiation. But for some unknown reason, there were more matter particles than antimatter particles. The slight imbalance left the excess um, to grow and let it grow, and the initial annihilation to be the foundation of which the material world we are aware of as we see to be created. This is as possible as blowing up a skyscraper and from the dust a new skyscraper emerges. It's all a bit haywire in some sense, but that's what happened. In the next few minutes, the matter created hydrogen, helium, deuterium, the building blocks of a universe. From spiraling atoms, storms of atoms, dust was created, and dust particles created rocks, planets, and other stars and everything. The universe was dense and there was no light. This period was called the Dark Ages. Then, about 500 million years later, the universe started to light up, stars started shining. The universe is a violent place. It is very different from the serene, beautiful night sky we see from Earth. I see winds at supersonic speeds, exploding stars with heat and billions of degrees of heat, the volcanoes, swirling dust atoms, storms, cosmic radiation bombarding everything, black holes that crush and destroy stars and planets to a point of nothing, collision and destruction of galaxies, planets and stars, creation of new stars, etc. is constantly happening. It's a changing dynamic. It's a constantly evolving, ever changing dynamic. There's nothing stable about it. We cannot see what is happening. We cannot see this because the universe shields us from seeing what's going on. It's a dynamic, spectacular, constant cosmic event that is occurring. The atoms created 13.8 billion years ago are still here in the water you drink, and so is the radiation from 13.8 billion years, which is termed residual. It read as static in your television. Most atoms in our bodies were created in the first moments of the Big Bang. When a star dies, it ignites all its fuel and explodes in a spectacular fashion. It's called a supernova. And from that crucible of intense heat, radioactive cobalt, for example, forms iron. The same iron is in the Earth's core, the car you drive, and the hemoglobin in your blood. All the elements, potassium, carbon, calcium, that make up our bodies are born from this crucible of then exploding supernova. Stars are created, everything else is created. Stars create us and everything else in the universe. We are not separate from the universe, but are a part of the universe, and we inquire about the nature of the universe. We are inquiring about ourselves. So when we look at our bodies, it seems that the body is sort of static. It's born and then it kind of grows, but it's the cell is performing hundreds and thousands of functions every second to keep you alive. It's the intelligence that makes this happen. Cell is constantly changing, and so are other things in your body. Every 5 days you have a new stomach liner. Every 3 months you have a new skin. Everything is constantly changing. Your whole skeleton is being changed when you breathe in oxygen, potassium, and nitrogen and everything else from the outside, and constantly they're being replenished. Your whole body is constantly changing, just like the universe. So Indian master was asked, don't we all live in an objective world? And then the master said to the student, you see the objective world outside of you, and I see the world in me. The world is in me. So there is, so and then if you come down to the process of where you are at this point in time, you may be sitting in Melbourne or wherever in any some part of the world, and if you look at what is out there, which are billions and billions and billions of stars and everything, you are an infinite small little speck in the scheme of things, and everything else around you is moving, pulsating, changing form as per the intelligence that is occurring. And you're being kind of guided into whatever you need to do. Because if you look at the universe right now, the world we live in, let's forget the universe, everything else is about efficiency, whether it's your cell phone or your shoes or your microwave or fridge, or everything is about increasing the efficiency of the universe. So imagine you are a particle of a sand in a vast, um, limitless desert. The desert is not flat, but like an expanding balloon because of its vastness and its relative position. It seems flat, as the earth seems flat to a human being standing on earth. If you take a spaceship journey and go outwards, we are traveling um, into the universe. The moon, our nearest neighbor, is 1/4 of a million miles away. The sun at the center of our solar system is only 93 million miles away. And after we pass the asteroid belt, traveling further, Saturn is only 1 billion miles away from us and 1,000 times the size of Earth. Then you might pass the Voyager 1 spacecraft, launched in 1997, traveling at 40,000 miles per hour as we leave our solar system. And we are coming to the next process. Where are we? Give me a second. Yeah. So we are past Voyager, which is traveling at 40,000 miles per hour. Then we come to Proxima Centauri, our nearest star. It's only 25 million miles away. Our solar system is a quiet suburb in a suburb of spiral galaxies, the Milky Way. You might see it sometimes at night. The star city containing 100 billion stars. All the stars we see in the night sky are in our own galaxy. Out from the Milky Way, 100 million miles away is the next spiral galaxy, the Andromeda. Traveling at the speed of light, which is 186 miles per second. It will take us 2 million years to reach there. Andromeda and the Milky Way form a small cluster of galaxies called the local group. Stretching out way beyond the local group are much bigger cluster of galaxies. If we travel 50 billion trillion miles from Earth, as far as our spaceship can take us, we would see clusters of uneven galaxies, a predetermined pattern from the very first second of the Big Bang, still out there. This is where science ends and speculation begins. A galaxy is like a city of stars. Just as there are millions of people in a city or billions on Earth, there are hundreds of billions of stars in a galaxy. The universe contains over 100 billion galaxies. Like giant hurricanes in space, the resident stars spin round and round a giant core. and it's a wild, wonderful spectacle. In 1990, the Hubble telescope was launched to enable us to see the universe without distortion from the Earth's atmosphere. The views captured stunned the scientific community, caused them awe. Hubble captured the final moments of a star's life exploding into gas and dust. It also captured interstellar nurseries of newly born stars, each varied and unique as a human fingerprint, and dark pillars of cosmic dust, millions and millions of miles long, to spawn a new generation of stars and planets. There are 10 galaxies for each person on Earth. So 100 billion galaxies, and each containing 50 to 100 billion stars, an enormous amount of places in which there may be planets and life and other forms that we don't even we can't fathom. There are more stars in the universe than all the grains of sand on the beaches of Earth. Around stars are created planets, as our solar system was 4.5 billion years ago. If one sand was painted blue to represent Earth, it would suggest that we are alone in the. It would be insane to suggest that we are alone in the universe because there is so much out there. And because of our sensory perception of looking at a limited worldview, we feel like we are victims of the universe or God or whatever it is. Whereas in fact, we are just the universe in this grand scheme of things. And once you get that idea, a perception, whatever is occurring, you let it occur because there is nothing to worry about. In the scheme of things, our years of life, which we think could be like 80 years or 100 years or whatever it is for a long lived person on today's earth, that's a chronological age. But is it true? Because the first atoms of creation and are still circulating in our body from 5 million years ago, and all it does is change form, and we are changing form, and everything is changing as it is. Is there stability in our life? Are you looking for stability in your job, in your relationship, in your career, in your health, world, and whatever it is? Is there stability? Because we are looking at a fixed point of view, whereas what is occurring is constant change. Things are always changing, ideas are changing, perceptions are changing, people are changing, their ideas are changing. It's a flux, just like new stars are born, new stars are grown, are destroyed, and things are happening. So the idea is to just move into the inner world of inner perception, stay with your breath and flow with the go, and see where this adventure takes you, because there's nothing to fear. You're just part of the adventure. You are the adventure. Anyway, good luck.